Hello. Hello. Hey, London. Hey, Sharita. Hi, guys. Happy Friday the 13th, which I think is almost 12 o'clock now. But hey, if anybody knows me, if it wasn't for the 11th hour, I wouldn't get anything done. The light is so dark in here. Like, war. Like, I'm good. I'm good. I'm good. I'm feeling actually excellent. Today, I went for a colonic cleanse. And literally, it was the best experience ever. Hold on a second. Let me turn this light on because it's so dark in here. I don't know why. Like, my house is pretty dark. It's not the most well-lit house ever, but this is just damn near shameful. Hold on. Let me get this going. Oh my god. There we go. Okay, there you go. Some light. There's some light. I guess I'll sit here because it seems like this is the most well-lit area. How the hell did you go? I felt so light. Okay, so this is my third time getting a colonic cleanse in my life. The first time I did it, I was like, oh my gosh. Like, it was like, I loved it. And the second time I did it, um, I didn't exactly love it. And, yeah, I didn't exactly love it because it was like one of those things where it's kind of like do it yourself, where it's like they kind of just meet you, go in the room and do your own thing. And I don't think I had adjusted right, so I didn't get to enjoy it that much, right? But this time around when I did it, it was kind of like there was an attendant, but it was more or less like she didn't let you do your own thing. Hold on. Let's see if this. Oh my gosh. Cause my house is so dark. It's so annoying. And sometimes I just want to sit on the couch and be happy and just sit on the couch and be comfy. Ocean, you better leave that light. So I need to get some RC scribbling. Ocean's artwork. I know you have questions. Okay, so if you guys have to follow me on Instagram, you would see in the eve and in celebration of the full moon and Friday the 13th, I am doing one question for $8.88 a piece. I was gonna do prayer candles, but just my energy, I don't know. My energy is not right with it right now. Just because I just today I've been having one of those very God filled like eureka moments at this time where I don't. It's not like I don't want to do the prayer candles, but I feel like I just feel like I want to answer questions and just kind of just talk to y'all. And it's not like I have a problem with the prayer candles. It's just like God just put it on my spirit to like talk. You know what I mean? Like to really talk and like share my experience and my culture and like my understanding and the culture of the new age or the psychic game and stuff like that of revelations that I've had to go through being in this game. And it's one of those things where I notice a common thing all the time. Like as you know, some of y'all that's in this room right now, that I launched my House of Starres website today. So houseofstars.com is actually up, which I'm going to link link the site in the description box so you can make your purchases on all the products that I have there. There's candles, oils, and soaps for now. There's obviously more to come. Thank you, Kira. There's obviously more products and stuff to come. But of course, I just want to put out a small collection of things just to kind of, you know, show y'all what I got and just kind of grow from there. For me, I'm a fond believer in you kind of have to. I like to do things as I go, and I need to. And my whole thing is I listen to the people. You know what I mean? Ocean, leave my bag. Oh my gosh, please. This is how my stuff get lost. No, leave my bag. Hold on a second. No, leave it. Like all my bank cards, all my credit cards are all like poured out, you know? Okay. Let me put this back over here. All right. Hello. Hello. Yes. So, again, speaking of oil, did you send out that oil that yes, I gotta send it back out. Thank you for reminding me. If you could actually remind me tomorrow, I'll do it again. I'll actually do it like tomorrow. Like I literally, it slipped my mind because there's just been so much going on. Me preparing for this launch, as you know, it took a long. It was as you know, I initially announced the site in February, and at that time I had somebody that I knew fairly well that I thought I could trust that was doing my website for me, and I was like, okay, I trust this guy. I paid him to do the website. Okay, I trusted him to do the website, and like he was just giving me the runaround, like just the whole runaround until like finally last minute, like in May, he actually gave me the rights to the site, and like where he was making it seem like so much was done, like there was so little that was done. And when the irony of it all is like he didn't really have much work to do because I did most of it for him. He just kind of had to lay out the format for me because of course I'm not that like tech savvy. But see, to God be the glory because God showed me that a lot of the things that you could do on your own. So I'm a kind of person that likes to be a woman of my word. I don't like to talk about things and just make them seem that I'm doing things and that I'm not. And then I just look like I'm just a talker. So I usually just keep things to myself. And then when I feel comfortable, that's when I'm like, all right. So everyone knew, like everyone's been asking, a lot of people have been asking, when's your site gonna go up? Aren't you gonna sell your products? Aren't you gonna do this? Aren't you gonna do that? And I'm like, yeah. Meanwhile, back at the ranch, like I was, just planning everything, going through, like studying my recipes, seeing what works, like what doesn't work. You know what I mean? There's a lot that goes into doing certain things. You know what I mean? I'm a believer in, I don't believe in just kind of doing a little quick, like slap up something and give it to people. Like if I'm going to do this, if I'm going to do this, I'm going to do it for real. I feel like I've put enough time in the industry for me to not give you guys mediocrity. You know what I mean? Like if I'm going to give you guys something, it better be something that works and it better be something that's good. Ocean's down. So that took me some time just to kind of get everything together to do that. But I was sitting, and last night when I posted, as you guys know, on my Instagram, I posted the launch of my site going live on Friday the 13th at 3 o'clock in the morning. I was trying to like go with the air of like that very creepiness at 3 o'clock in the morning. And it was like right as I was posting it, I literally was having like a full circle moment. Like literally, I was sitting there, and it was like my ancestor. Oh, yeah. So I launched my site last night, which the link will be in the description box. But it's like I can hear God, I can hear my ancestors kind of like exactly, like reminding me. Like it's like that we had a moment where we sat down and kind of went back to where I started and like where I'm at now. And I was just like, wow. You know what I mean? It was like a very wow experience. Like, oh my gosh, like there there was a lot that I had to journey through. So a lot of it was good. You know what I mean? A lot of people that know me, I do talk about like some of the bad things that could happen, but I think that's kind of like you have to be realistic. Hence why I mentioned that part. But a lot of good things that happened during my journey, and I've learned a lot from not just, my own experiences, but meeting other people like you guys, clients, learning based on like what the clientele basis and stuff, and the culture of like the kind of clients that you meet on a daily basis and what people are looking for and things like that. Like I've taken a lot of heed to paying attention to that in the most humblest way. And Today it was like, it's like God was really talking to me. I was on my way for my colon cleanse, and literally, like, I was getting all these symbolism everywhere. I was getting like 7 7. Like, I was literally just seeing all angel numbers. I was seeing a license plate drove by and said grateful. I was just seeing all types of stuff, like just messages from God. Like, I was in like complete shock. Just the messages I was getting. And I just got this overwhelming feeling over me. And I was just like, God, what do you want me to do? You know what I mean? Like, what do you want me to do? And what do you want me to do with the next stage that I'm stepping in? I feel, yeah. And there you were, yeah. Because I sat there and I looked at my life. Sometimes you go over your life and you're just like, man, I could have done this. And sometimes it doesn't help when you have certain people that like try to not judge you, but it's like they have a sense where it's like, oh well, why didn't you? It's like, okay, and it makes you question, like, and then you stop. You're like, no, like this is my journey, no matter if you understand it or not. You know what I mean? Um, and I've gotten to the space that there's a lot of things that I've realized about myself, and not just realized about myself, but just in the culture of spirituality in itself. And I think that the biggest thing that I've noticed is that there's not enough emphasis and faith in God. You know what I mean? Um, there's so much, exactly. There's so much emphasis on what you can do and what you're supposed to do. And I think the culture itself, the psychic culture, is kind of designed in a way to kind of keep people stuck. You know what I mean? Designed in a way to keep people coming back for more. Designed in a way to make people feel like they're incapable of doing anything with their own lives or actually taking care of themselves without seeking assistance from a psychic. You know what I mean? I always say to myself, I always say, if you hear me, it's like, I always say that, you know, my disclaimer I always say to people is like, I'm not God. Hey, I'm not God. The only thing I can rest assured myself is that I pride myself in my accuracy. I'm doing my best to give you the best of me based on obviously the services that we are an exchange that we have. And that's really it. But the answers that really are there, they lie within yourself. You know what I mean? And I'm grateful that people rely on me as a mentor, or rely on me as somebody that they could go to get clarity and advice and all these things. I'm very grateful for that. I must say that I'm really blessed to be in a position to be called to help people and bring clarity and bring rest to people's soul. But I just have to give the reality of the industry itself and things that people need to understand. And I think the thing is, I guess my whole thing is, I remember, I'll never forget, this was like 4 years ago. No, maybe 5 years ago. Yes, exactly. It was 5 years ago. I had this dry erase board in my bedroom. And I think this is when I started YouTube. Yeah, this is initially when I started YouTube. And I had this whole idea for what I wanted for my YouTube at first. And I was trying to do that, I was trying to do it. But it's just like everything that I was trying to do wasn't really like feasible, like at the end of the day, because it would have required a lot of money, stuff like that. And it's not like I didn't have the money to do it. It was just more like, if you put all this in this, like, um, how are you sure they're going to be receptive? You know what I mean? Um, and I went back to my board and I'm like, God, I literally stopped. I'm like, God, the first thing that comes in my mind and why I'm going to go on this site will tell me what I'm actually aimed to do. And I remember I wrote, I want to be I want to be the spokesperson or speak on behalf of the spiritual world. Um, when I say that, it's like the ones that are out here that are being ill represented in the spiritual world. Like there's a lot of psychics that have kind of left a very nasty a nasty how can I say it? A nasty taste in people's mouths on the kind of people that we are. There's a lot of people that come in this industry just for self-glorification and money. There's a lot of people that think that doing what we do or being a spiritual person is like, it's like how can I explain it? It's like yeah, it's like an extra armor to kind of feel like you're like the superhuman. And it's like, don't get me wrong, it's like, yes, you have a gift that most people don't have, but at the end of the day, we're all human and we're all people. And I remember coming into the psychic game, and I started in the business in 2012. Now, I always had gifts my whole entire life, but I just never wanted to accept my gifts. I was like completely like, let me rest y'all here because I feel like I feel so, hold on, I feel so stiff with this hair. Yeah, don't forget the stuff. Thank you. Yeah, I felt very actually, Ocean, go watch your cartoons. Holy crap. Hold on a second, guys. I need a charger for this too. I don't even know where it is. Hold on. I want to turn this down before freaking YouTube dings me for the freaking video of my damn background. um so what was I saying? Yeah, when I got in this industry, I never really wanted to be a psychic. That was not exactly my focus in life. I actually used to like hate my gifts, y'all. Um, Not because like I don't know if I was exactly ashamed of it. I think I just I didn't want to live the narrative that came with it. Because when you have an ability or you could see things, like people always want to be able to chalk you up and throw you into a box and just, classify you. Hold on, crap. There you go, guys. Ah! Okay, I'm brushing my hair because this wig is getting damn old and it looks like crap. And I think the way how it's sitting on my head is making me look crazy. But people want to always classify you and chalk you up and and try to make you prove it to them. Exactly. And it's like that's why like a lot of times too, especially when people meet me, I'm not gonna lie, I lie about what I do. They go, oh, what do you do? I'm like, I work for myself. Oh, what do you do? I'm like, oh, I do PR. Which is not exactly far from the truth because I did used to have a PR business. But I did let that go. And I left the industry and I put all my energy and my focus in House of Starres. But, woo, okay. There's a whole like within my journey itself, I allowed myself to take my time. They think we're God. They think we know everything and we literally have the answer to everything, which not for nothing. I've been able to get a lot of deep messages, but they literally feel like they almost act like you come into this world and you don't have your own set of mistakes and lessons to learn on your own. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's like, to be honest, as a psychic, we go through it the worst because we're filled with, there's no handbook to the kind of work that we do. The only way that we're able to understand and actually innately feel and be able to teach what we go through is based on going through experiences. Because even if I have a person that comes to me and they haven't exactly went through what I went through, or I haven't exactly gone through what they went through, the energy that I felt that is similar will still resonate. And through that energy, will I be able to actually properly identify how I should speak to this person and how their message should be delivered. Okay? So there's lessons in that. But, I had this thing when I first came into the game where I was like, okay, listen, I've been scammed by psychics before, because before I actually became into the business, I met a couple psychics that scammed me out of money. You know what I mean? And told me things I wanted to hear, or told me like I had a curse on me and somebody's doing voodoo on me, and asked me to pay them $1,000, knowing damn well I wasn't even good for that kind of money. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, like I live my life. Like, people have to understand that, like, when it comes to my life, like, I'm not Starre 24/7. I am my own person, and then there's Starre. You understand? So, with that being said, I first came into the game and I had this whole stigma about, doing spell work and or doing candle work or doing any type of manifestation or divination thing. The reason why I'm able to read without using cards is because I literally came into this game refusing to read with them. I felt in my spirit that that was kind of keeping a boundary with getting into a realm where the stigma that comes with being a gifted person would be blurred. And I wanted to make sure that I presented myself in a way where I was as human as possible. That was my whole thing when I first came in the game. You know what I mean? And I think it did work for me in ways, that mentality, of course, because a lot of people found it easy to relate to me. You know what I mean? Because it didn't make them feel intimidated or make them feel like you were on this whole different realm and they were on a different realm. You know what I mean? Like, don't get me wrong, that there is true cases to that as well, but there's a sense of groundedness that's also within being spiritual and within being gifted. So I started off that way, and I remember going down that line, and I remember first coming across my first client that needed spiritual work done. And she literally asked me, she's like, can you do a candle for me? Like, do you think you can help me? And I go to her and I'm like, nah, I don't do that. And she's like, oh, okay. And I'm like, well, maybe I could like suggest you to somebody. Cause I think I knew a couple people in the industry that I knew that I didn't know to what extent they were good or not, or what they did. But I'm like, well, maybe she can go to them. You know what I mean? Because they will give her what she's looking for. So she literally went to the person. I don't know what happened. She came back and she's like, no, I just believe in you. I think you know what you're doing. And I'm gonna like get work done with you. Like what do I mean? I'm like, I don't know. I'm like, let's kind of figure this out as we go. And literally I remember going online, buying everything. She paid for it. I made her buy everything. She sent it to my house, and I sat in the room with these candles and oils like, okay, so what do I do next? And I'm like, you know what? I'm just going to do what I know best. I'm just going to pray. And I'm going to put this oil on it and I'm going to pray my butt off, and maybe something will happen. Sure enough, for the luck of the draw, it worked. And it was from that moment that I had a different perspective on spiritual items or tangible spiritual items to help. And I was like, well, I guess it doesn't really have to do with what it is. It more or less has to do with the person that's doing it. And where does your integrity lie in what you're doing? You know what I mean? Exactly. Um, Over the years, of course, I was learning stuff. Learning things as I go. I was a part of a group. We would kind of share things. They gave me a good amount of information. Like, they'll tell me certain things to use. But when it really came into how to do things, like they didn't really tell me those things, because at the same time, when it comes to spiritual people or stuff like that, people have their own way of how they do things, and a lot of people like to keep their way of how they do it secret. Because at the end of the day, it's a defense thing, and it's like when you've worked so hard to make something sacred and make it your own, it's like you want to be able to do things in a certain like you want to be able to have boundaries with your stuff. You know what I mean? Um, so with that being said, like I learned stuff, but as I started to grow, I was channeling things. Like my spirit was just telling me what to do and showing me how to do it. Like I would never forget when I did some candles one time, and there was this guy I used to talk to, and he was a like really huge like witch doctor type of guy. Like I mean, this guy is like he was really, really, really smart in the game. And I met him at a spiritual store here in Toronto. But we ended up getting acquainted. We end up being, I wouldn't say we're friends. I would say we got acquainted, but we got along well. And he came to my house and he saw how I did everything. And he goes, "Who taught you this?" And I'm like, I don't know. I just channeled it from my guys. He goes, "It's funny that the way you do candles, because that's actually the Jamaican Obia way how to do things." And I was like, "Oh, well, that's funny." Well, because of course my ancestors are Jamaican. You know what I mean? Um, Ocean, sit your box side down. Ocean's completely stark raven naked. So moving on with that, of course, and I never, I would do work for other people, and it would be great, and I got a lot of results in that, and but I never thought about like starting my own line. I never thought about like doing my like selling the products that I had, until the moment of now where I was like going back to, of course, I hope I'm not going in circles when I was speaking, but the biggest thing for me that I noticed about my following is that a lot of the people that come to me are either extremely spiritually receptive, or they're people that actually have their own gifts. And when I made the products and I started a line and I was ready to post it, it was like that full circle moment of where I started, where I've always wanted people to actually understand and know what their own power was. And wanted people to not allow yourself to be dependent on other people in the word and hang on to every word that they say. And I mean, and then I say that, i.e. psychics, you know what I mean? It's good to get guidance. It's great to actually be able to have somebody you could speak to and kind of get a clear mind of exactly what's going on in what situation. But the one thing that I'm not proud of making anyone be is literally codependent on me. Like to the point where it's like they feel like they need me. Um they need me in a way where it's like there's like an idolization there. And when I say idolization, I don't say it in a way like, "Oh my God, you're looking up at me." I mean like honestly in a spiritual biblical way, like the name like idol. You know what I mean? And it's like for me, I'm like I don't think I would be doing anyone any service if I wouldn't be showing anyone how to be able to be powerful within their own self. And when I say powerful within your own self is your own self, and that you're and understanding that you have a connection to God, that Jesus does love you just as much as Jesus has blessed me is the same way how Jesus can bless you. Like I don't got no special back door to heaven. You know what I mean? I don't have a VIP access card. You know what I mean? I'm not a part of the elite group. You know what I mean? And I've come to the space where it's like it was really affirming when I put the site up. Like it's like, wow, I made a full circle moment without me even realizing it. I just followed my journey. You know what I mean? Because I'm a person that I'm a strong believer in, if any man knows a thing, he knows he doesn't know a thing at all. And that's just how I feel. Like I just feel like I don't know. I just yeah. If any man knows a thing, he knows he doesn't know a thing at all. And I just follow that. I follow that, and I think some readers tell clients that their clients don't have gifts just so they can keep coming. You were the first one to say that all my clairs and then some. Oh yeah, like if I see you have a gift, I'll tell you. Like I'll tell you off the bat. Like I'm not. For me, it's even though you come to me and you take my advice, at the end of the day, you got to live with yourself. You have to live with yourself and who your source is and who you should be putting your 110% faith in is God above. Yes, I am a tangible person that you can speak to, that can help you, that can has some fear, that can give you spiritual guidance. I'm not taking away from my title of who I am. But I will say that I want people to understand that they should trust God more. Like I kind of see, I'm starting to see a pattern in it. I even got caught up in this pattern myself that happens in the psychic culture, or the psychic to client exchange. Yeah, like, because I'm telling you, so much of my clients come to me and they're gifted. Literally. Like, there's not one client that, or people that I attract, they'll come to me that don't have something. I don't know if it's that, I don't know if it's the same for everybody else, but for me, everybody I've met has had something. You know what I mean? Like, I always could see something in them. Not everybody, but most people. Like, you know what I mean? A lot of people that are just about to, like, get into their gifts or tap into the gifts just before they get to that stage of opening up their gifts always meet me. They always meet me at that time. Yeah, I believe that too. Like, they always meet me during that time. Just as they're about to get into the gifts, like, that's where people usually meet me. Yeah. Right, the ripe season. Yes. And I don't know, I feel like I'm babbling. Hopefully I'm like making sense in all I'm saying. But I just had to share because I sat with God and I was just like having a moment. And I usually have this moment before I make a big step. And it's just like, God, like, Ocean, stay there. I was like, God, like, what do you want me to do? Like, how am I doing this? How am I approaching this? Like, what do you want me to do? Like, why do you have me on this path? You know what I mean? Where am I going with this? And literally just before, I was supposed to be on live way earlier than this. I was supposed to be on live like an hour ago, 2 hours ago. And the whole time, like, I was supposed to be on live, I was sitting in worship. Like, I was literally just sitting in worship. I was sitting just in dialogue with God. And literally, I heard that you have to speak your truth. And through speaking your truth is where people will be resonant. And then he showed me like a line of people, like just literally like, imagine a line going up a gate, like going up to waiting for somewhere. And it's like hills and hills are people. And he showed me, he goes, all these people are just trapped by the, I guess, the psychic curse or the psychic binding of constantly going over and over and lulling over situations and things that really should be left to me, that are really not, is up to me what the deciding factor is. He goes, I didn't build us on this earth to only rely on yourself. I build you on this earth to rely on me. And he goes, people have lost touch with let go and let God. People have gotten so accustomed to feeling that they can control every single outcome and not believe or respect any rules, any equilibrium, any balance, anything at all. They literally will try to get what they want at all costs and swear to God there isn't repercussions for it. And I think I just came to on this video because I feel like God wanted me to let you guys know that whatever it is right now that you have in your heart and your spirit that is literally like binding you to the point that it's like you feel like you kind of are always lulling into try to find the answer on what it is, let it go and let God. Let it go and let God. Like, sometimes not every single thing in the world you must know. So, like, you ever notice that how, like, and this is for people that have ever done cards or don't you ever notice the beauty in something where it's like you never saw it coming. You were just led and it just manifested into something that you never thought it could be. Have you ever been in a situation where you've pulled out cards or gotten readings and somebody's explained a situation to you where it sounded completely horrible? Sounded like the worstest catastrophic thing that could have ever happened in your life, only to actually see the situation pass and see that it was really nothing at all to be worried about? Have you ever been put in a situation where it's like you've met a psychic or met a spiritual person and they tell you all these negative things that are happening to you or what's going on with you? Like, don't get me wrong. I'm not going to sit there and say that spiritual snares do not exist and people ain't cursing people out here, because people are cursing people out there. But at the end of the day, there's a culture here in this industry that is binding people by believing that they cannot do anything on their own. That literally there's absolutely no answer to freedom at all unless you come to a psychic or you pay them that $1,000 or XYZ, how much $1,000 to fix their problem. Like, literally that you cannot do it at all on your own. That's the deceit that is being spread like fucking locusts over this industry. And I've noticed, and even myself, I'm not even talking about anybody else, I'm even talking about myself, get spiritually binded in situations and things and just keep going over them and over them and over them and over them, and patiently waiting for what they said to come to pass, or literally living their life out of what a psychic reading was. Like, even though somebody tells you something and maybe the person is, and of course the person is accurate, doesn't necessarily mean that you have the full vision of how that situation is going to manifest. And that's why it's called prophecy. You speak things into people's life. Yes, you tell people what is going to happen, but at the end of the day, your journey is still to live in the now. That's what you're meant to do. Point point blank and period. And it's like, I just feel like God just put me on here to say this. And it's like, I'm tired of seeing people just spiritually bounded, spiritually lulling, spiritually going over and over a situation that's done past. And it's just like, you wait, but like, you were once upon a time, before you ever met a psychic or spoke to one, you would just, bad things would happen, you would just coast in your life and move on. Now, all of a sudden, it's like you need to know what's going to happen, or what's going to happen to them, or feel like you need to get even. When people don't realize that getting even actually gets you more binded to the situation than you even began with. Because now you're sitting there worried about somebody and something, and that person's moving on, marry on with their fucking life, ain't worried about you. And you're going to be constantly reminded, energetically wired to a situation that is something that just went by. If you feel that hate in your heart, that resentment in your heart, or that anger, go down on bended knee and pray. Because not only will God fill your spirit and bring you calmness, he will give you the answers that are necessary. And if God sees what is fit, whoever needs to pay the toll will pay their toll. And that is as simple as that. Yeah, that's just what I feel. And when I started this line, I wanted to show a reflection of my story, my reflection of who I am. And when I say who I am, I say who I am as a person that serves the people. Because as Starre, I only serve people. I'm here to help y'all as Starre. You know what I mean? There's glorification I get out of it. There's gratification I do get out of it in myself. There's nothing more powerful and there's nothing more beautiful than to speak somebody and literally watch their energy go from a high like this of tension and to come off the phone and be left in utter peace. Regardless of what I told them, whether it was something they heard that went their way or something they heard that didn't go their way. There is just something that happens when that happens that you just don't get sick of. And I guess what I'm going on to say why I'm having this rant is because it's just like I feel like this was just a full circle. I went into this blindly. I knew what I wanted to do, and to be honest, it was put on my spirit. I wasn't even thinking of it myself. I knew what I wanted to do. I understood what my expectations of what I wanted it to be, but I had no idea what exactly the journey was going to be while even trying to start any of this. And it's here, it's done. Like, I got the stuff, I got it here, but it's just like I stopped and I was like, this is it. Like, this is my whole life journey and what I've learned and the lessons I've learned and the understandings I've learned over time so that people can help themselves. This is all I've ever wanted to do, is for people to understand that they can help yourself. And why I say this is because before I came into this industry, I was scammed badly by a psychic. A psychic like literally scammed me out of $4,000. I was like 19. So back in that day, it was a lot of money. You know what I mean? I still remember the time I called you and said, I just want to go home. I know. Yeah. Bad. Full circle moment, son. As you scammed me out of $4,000. And I swear, this woman, the things that she would tell me, bro, I used to have anxiety like nobody's business. It was to the point that I low-key wanted to kill myself. Because this is when I was married. And I didn't understand. My husband was just a piece of shit. He was very abusive and weird. And I couldn't understand why he was like that. And I would go to these psychics just to kind of get like what my next step should be. What should I do? And she sold me on this whole story that somebody did a curse on him and did a curse on our relationship. If you pay me this money, I'll remove the curse. All these things. And I remember sitting there in like utter anxiety day in, day out. Like literally could not sleep, like could not eat, like literally was up all night, like worried as fuck. You know what I mean? Like could leave it, like literally living in complete doom. And I remember she would give me like, I swear to God, like now that I look back and now that I'm a spiritual person, I'm like, this bitch will literally give me like incense from like fucking I don't know, from fucking Walmart. She would give me like these like she'll give me these things and she's like, "Oh, it's for this and you burn it." And it was legit potpourri. Like fucking potpourri from like Walmart. She gave me like a soap and I smelt it and I was like, "Wait a second." Like it was literally like some kind of soap that I already had that I bought. And I knew exactly distinctively where the soap came from because it was like one of these soaps that was like not like a mainstream one that this bitch gave me and told me that it's like, oh, this is like cleansing soap, like wash off soap or whatever. The bitch literally like scammed my ass out. And I remember walking away and thinking like, yo, how do you sleep at night knowing that like you are like, you have somebody's life in your hands and all you're doing is fucking playing with them? And when I started to wake up and get wise to what the hell she was doing, is when I started to just I got to a space where I was feeling like I didn't have any money. Okay, so I paid her the money and then she asked me to do something. She said, I came to her with something else that happened. And she's like, well, it's going to cost this. And I was thinking to myself, like, okay, how am I going to get the money so that I can get her to do this? And I didn't have the money for it. I was like, fuck it. You know, I'm just going to try to pray and see what God would say. Or just pray for now. And just hope to God that God hears my prayers. And I went down on bending knee and just started praying. And I noticed as I would pray, I would just feel better and better and better. And I'm like, I don't know what's going to happen. It's like I started praying and then when I started to pray at first, it's like God was filling my spirit and gradually strengthening my spirit. And as he was gradually strengthening my spirit, he was strengthening my spirit to surrender more. Then I was surrendering more until it still was to the point that I was praying like 4 times a day, every day for like 6 months. As I started praying, I started seeing, not seeing myself with my husband. When I was with my husband, all I could see was him. All I could see was him. And when I was praying, I started seeing my life without him, and seeing myself and doing different things and all this stuff. And I just started praying and praying until the day came and God gave me the right opportunity. And that was the day I literally packed my bags and moved out. And I stopped and I'm like, damn, girl, you spent all this money that you didn't have to try to prevent this day from coming. And here you are packing your bags on this bus with this shanty ass suitcase, moving back to your parents' house, and you're completely fine with it. There ain't nothing wrong with you, girl. It wasn't the worst thing in the world. And when I looked at the situation, I was like, where I'm like convincing myself it's a curse, it's a this, it's a that. It's just like we were just never meant to be. Like me and my ex-husband, we were literally two different people. Like he was a completely different person than I was. And I was sitting there trying to make something work because this psychic convinced me that there was a curse, and that's the reason why I couldn't get along with him. And like I said, I took that with me. I kept that in my spirit, and I had a resentment with it. Like, how dare you? Like this is people's lives that you're dealing with. This is not a fucking joke. You know what I mean? Like, even though I say over and over and again, and I swear up and down, I would say, listen, I'm not God. I'm not God. At the end of the day, due to me doing the line of work I do in my accuracy, I cannot take away the fact that people actually trust what I say. That people actually hang on and come to me, spend their hard-earned money to pay me so that I could give them peace of mind, advice, and answers. I can't play dumb with that. The money is small to the responsibility that is given to me when I reach y'all. And I know that. And that's why I try to take what I do very seriously. Very, very seriously. So yeah, I think that I just got here and I had to speak for my spirit, because it's just like, God was just like, unbind these people. Unbind them. Like, literally unbind these people. Realize that, let them know that I exist. And they could, yes, because at the end of the day, you go to church, you always get advice from the pastor. You know what I mean? You always go and get your advice from your pastor. But that's a leader or somebody that that you feel like they're educated in the faith or whatever, as a leader that can give you answers or prophesize or whatever the case may be. But not like when you read me, it's been heavy on my heart and it's hard to shake. What? Say it again. Write it again, because that doesn't make sense. Yeah, but it's just like, I don't even know what I'm saying. I hope what I'm saying is resonating with y'all. But I just had to speak what's on my spirit. Yeah, but this is the thing that people have to understand, that okay, people in the church are people. Don't get me wrong. There's a certain sense of pretentiousness that comes with being a pastor or being a Christian or whatever the case may be. Of course, and it's damn annoying because people try to act like they're perfect. They swear to God, like they act like they don't sin. They're holy rolling another motherfucker and all types of stuff. And it kind of deters people from going to church, because they feel like there's going to be judgment and stuff like that. But you could be deterred from the church, but don't be deterred by God. That's all I'm really just trying to say. So yeah, I'm just going to leave that with y'all. I can't believe I sat there for a whole hour. Yeah, you need to... You have to let it go. Let it go. Like, I swear, I always tell people, I can only tell you what you see, but like literally hold it. What was I hearing? You literally have to take the reading for a grain of salt and take it for what it is. Like literally, there's situations I've been in. Like say for example, situations like in my love life. Because to be honest, when it comes to anything else, like career, anything like that, I don't like to ask. Because me as a person, I'm willing to work for anything I need to have. But like for example, like if it's romantic situations, and I ask for advice, like I will have friends that I fully trust that they've told me, yeah, they've told me things that have like come to pass and everything, and it's like I can't, I don't conclude things until I see things for myself. And that's because I only take the reading as a grain of salt. Because at the end of the day, things can be subject to change. Even well, I can't even say it's love life. Because to be honest, in everything I'm being told, even though I like it as a guide, it's something to look forward to, it's something to understand or give me advice. At the end of the day, I always know that things are always subject to change. Free will. Yeah. Things are always subject to change. Or you could see something for me, but it may not exactly manifest how you see it or how you're telling me. Because as soon as somebody tells you something, like if I go, okay, London, okay, I see around you, I end up seeing you moving to a sunny place. It feels like wherever you're living is right by water. Um, it feels like wherever you're going to be, whatever you're going to be doing with yourself, it feels like you're going to be working with your hands. I could say that to you and you're like, oh my gosh, I'm going to end up moving to California and I'm going to go there and I'm going to become a carpenter. And then a few years later go by and it's like, oh, down that journey, you end up meeting a guy. And you met this guy, he happens to still live in Florida. And his dad owns a pizza shop. And then when you moved to Florida, you started working in the pizza shop. And yeah. And it so happens to be right on Miami Beach. It's like you don't know exactly how things are going to manifest. That reader could only tell you based on how they see it. That's why it's like you just have to take things for a grain of salt. Take it as an affirmation of understanding of what is to come. But at the end of the day, what really matters and how your life is going to lead and you being on the right track is from up above. Put God in the forefront at all times. So I'm going to leave that with y'all. Yeah, I'm going to leave that with y'all. I hope you guys resonated with that. Do you guys understand what I was saying? Or was I just ranting about bullshit? Because I literally felt like I was going in circles. I don't know. Because some of what I was saying I was channeling and some of what I was saying was just being said. So unbind yourself, y'all. Unbind yourself. Unbind yourself. Thank you, Ade. And that's my website. houseofstars.com. If somebody could write it in the comment section, if you guys want to take a look and a stroll at what I got there. I got my products. I'm actually going to do a video, guys, where I'm going to show you guys how to do the candles. So that if you do buy them, you're not just buying them. Like, you know how to use them properly. Because at the end of the day, I want everyone to do things properly. Not only for them to work, but to put themselves in a safe space. So there's that. And yeah. So in eve of the full moon, guys, see, you would love to get in touch with your spiritual energy. It's a journey, girl. It's a door you open that you just can't shut. I think you just have to walk the walk. So, as you know, it's actually after 12 o'clock. It's not Friday the 13th anymore. But Friday the 13th special, $8.88 for one question. I was supposed to be doing prayer candles, but I just did like a huge cleansing on my home, and I don't want to do candles in my home or in my space yet, so it's not my spirit. So I will be doing prayer requests. If you guys feel it in your heart to give donations, you can. Oh, it's gonna rain again. You can. But yes, Patricia, I'm sorry you paid for a question. What's your question? Oh yes, was send payment to the PayPal and prayer candles. I'm not gonna be doing prayer candles tonight. If you actually want a prayer, like if you actually want like a full prayer candle done, how much does it cost? Well, go on my site. Okay, so I have two different candles. There's featured candles that are there. So one is I have like four featured candles, and then also you could also do a custom burn, which I could either send the candle to you or you can have the candle burnt, and it's $44.44 for the candle. It depends on how. No cash app for readings. No, I only take PayPal because I'm in Canada. That's the only source of payment that we have between the United States and Canada that's instant. So we don't do cash app out here. Look at that scribble. I have to wipe that off. I still haven't done it yet. I don't know why. Simple. I just need to use nail polish remover because it's like a metallic marker I had, and Ocean Swiper No Swiping got a hold of it, and PayPal House of Stars at live.com. I haven't put my readings on my site. I don't know why. I just don't feel. Yeah, you need to do a colon cleanse. I did this colon cleanse today, child. Yo, that literally just snatched my wig. Snatched my wig. Hold on a second. Guys, I'm gonna put you on hold because I need to find the charger for this phone. Because it's gonna die. And I don't want it to die now. So give me a second. And hold on. Child. Well, what's wrong with this? Give me a second so I can get my charger. Give me a moment. I cannot find my charger, guys. Like, it's kind of insane why I can't find it. That's kind of foolish. Very foolish. Why I cannot find it. Holy moly. Holy moly moly. Okay, so it looks like what I'm going to have to do, guys, is that I'm going to have to sign out and then sign back in on my laptop because I can't find my charger. And if I don't if I don't put this phone on the charger, it's just going to die. And I want to talk to y'all. So just stay where you guys are. I'm literally going to sign out and then sign back in. And then we're going to do some questions. Oh, God. So I'll be right back, okay?